Leaders who have the will to do what's needed to achieve peace. Real peace requires leaders who are willing to step forward, acknowledge hard truths, and make compromises. It requires leaders who look to the future rather than dwell on past resentments. Above all, such leaders require courage.
All right, looking for courage, the UN Ambassador Nikki Haley pushing for peace in the Middle East, urging Palestinian leadership to be courageous when addressing the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. This is the president, President Trump, and the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, held a bilateral meeting over in Davos at the World Economic Forum. Here to talk about it all with us is Lieutenant General Thomas McInerney. General, always good to see you. Your thoughts on the approach of the administration currently trying to solve this age-old problem of Middle East peace?
Well, I think Ambassador Haley hit it the nail on the head. The fact is Connell, we need leadership over there. We've got great American leadership. We've got great Israeli leadership. We have pathetic PLO Palestinian leadership. And until Abbas goes, and until the Saudis and the Egyptians and the Jordanians exert some influence there so the PLO Palestinians get some good leadership, there will be no peace.
You don't see that happening anytime soon, do you?
I do not, unfortunately.
Right, so the status quo
correct.
Continues. Now, one of the things that has changed is the American approach with regard to Jerusalem, of course, and that sparked this kind of back and forth once Jerusalem was recognized as the capital, and President Trump talked about moving our embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, about whether that was something that was helpful or was, as some foreign policy, quote-unquote, experts described it, kind of a step backwards. It would lead to make things more difficult. But anyway, the Prime Minister Netanyahu and the President addressed some of that today in Davos. Let's listen.
People say that this pushes peace backward. I say it pushes peace forward because it recognizes history, it recognizes the present reality.
And we give them hundreds of millions of dollars in aid. That money is on the table, and that money is not going to them unless they sit down and negotiate peace.
So really, General, two issues there, the embassy and the move to Jerusalem, which I talked about. But the second one, let's take that first. The president talking there essentially about using aid as a bargaining chip. Your thoughts on that strategy?
Well, it has failed us over these years. And let me just say about moving the capital to Jerusalem, that was the right move to do. It shows there's courageous leadership there. And that's very important to show in this. Now, getting back to the aid, I would just cut the PLO out completely. We'd cut them 50%, but I'd cut them out completely and let them know that we're not going to pay them to make fools of ourselves and for them to be obstreperous in the region. Right. They either play with us or they don't. Let's play hardball.
Well, if they don't, then what?
Well, you take the consequences, because pretty soon they're going to see they don't have any money for electricity, they don't have any money on their economy, and pretty soon they're going to start listening and moving in the right direction.
Right. But I know that, and it just sounds like, and this shouldn't really come as a surprise because it's been the way it's been for years, decades really, that there doesn't seem to be a clear path towards making real progress on this, in your view, if I'm reading between the lines the right way. That's just, you know, there's not much we can do realistically to change the status quo, is there?
That's correct, unless they want to do it. I know the president was hoping that Jared Kushner was going to be able to go over there and bring together a peace treaty and two-state solution, but that's not going to happen because the Palestinians and the radical Islamists in the region, right, Iran specifically, do not want it to happen.
General, as always, thanks for the insights. We appreciate it, General McInerney. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Connell.
Okay.